What if I told you that there was a big difference between people who stay stuck and people who step into their next life chapter? And what if I also told you that when your why is bigger than you, when you haven't just made it all about you, that you are more likely to achieve your goal? Welcome back to another episode of Rollerset to Mindset. I'm your go-to coach when you find yourself stuck at a crossroads and you're wondering what is next for me. And today we are going to have a real conversation about that, about what is possibly next for you. Because today we're talking about the power of your why. And more specifically, who benefits when your why is bigger than you, who it includes, and the difference that it makes in your transformation when it's not just about you. Because here is the truth. This is the truth, what I have found to be true for me and to many other women that I have held conversation with. If your why is only about you, it won't sustain you when things get uncomfortable. And let me tell you, you can be rest assured that mm, transformation will get uncomfortable. That's just the way it is. You can't have a big shift, a big change in your life being comfortable. Why even bother? If you expect to create change in your life in a comfortable state, then that shift you're trying to make is not big enough. So, if you're in a season, if you are that woman who is in a season where you feel tired, you feel unsure, or you're tempted to pull back on the dream that keeps coming up, the idea of who you can be that keeps bubbling up, then this message is for you. And I want to talk, the first thing I want to talk about is the problem with a surface level why. I had to come to terms with that, the problem with my surface level why. And what do I mean like that? Because I have found through conversations with hundreds of women that when they say things like, or when we say things like, I want to be more confident, I want more money, I want more peace, I want to finally choose me. We say those things all the time. And listen, those are valid desires. Those are valid things, but they're often simply not deep enough. It's just not deep enough to carry you through the trenches, to carry you through those rough times, that carry you through resistance. We all get them when we're going for a goal. Or fear, things, what's the false evidence appearing real? Things that we believe to be true that are like roadblocks for us, but they're simply not true. They just appear to be true. And let's not forget self-doubt. And so because the moment it gets hard, come on now, somebody, the moment it gets hard, when fear shows up, when old habits start calling your name, start calling your name. First, it begins with a whisper, and then it gets louder and louder and louder. A surface level why is just not going to help you. Because what you begin to hear things like, maybe it's too late for me, or this is just too much. I can't do it, or I've got too much on my plate. Maybe I started too late. You know what I'm talking about. You even begin to ask yourself, who in the world do I think I am to want to shift in midlife? To want to shift after I've spent so many years doing this one thing. Well, if you're not careful, you're going to stop. You're going to stop dreaming. You're going to stop uh, looking for the gain in the areas of your life. You're going to stop. You're going to stop reaching. You're going to stop striving. And not because you're not capable. No, mm, that's never the case. Sometimes it's because your why isn't anchored to something bigger than yourself. So let's dive in a little bit into understanding that your transformation is just never, ever about you. Do you hear me? And the minute I accepted that, things shifted for me. And I'm not talking about a big old shift, but a shift enough to make me listen to the voice that says, keep going, that says, you can make it happen. Um, when I learned that my transformation was never meant to just stop with me, but it was for the people, the women that was waiting for me. It was for the places that was ready to receive me. You know, it was the things that I had to offer other women so that they can go on to their next. And not just women. What about our family? What about our children? What about our unborn and born grandchildren, our clients, your community, your church? You know, what about the women watching you? I mean, seriously, watching you in secret, watching you in silence, wondering if it's too late for her. And sometimes we don't stop to think about that. We really don't. But when we decide, you know what? I'm going to get clear. I'm going to let clarity lead me. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build my courage. I'm going to develop self confidence. And I'm going to live and walk this journey, this new journey, with bliss, you know, with joy, with anticipation. hmm That's when you not only give yourself permission to keep going, but you give others that same fire, that same permission to keep going. And when you don't do that, sis, listen, you intentionally teach others to quit. You intentionally teach others not to believe. You intentionally teach others to continue to live safe and sometimes live smaller than how they could live. And then what happens? Not only your dreams expire, but their dream never even get an opportunity to lift off the ground. And I know that you don't want that to be your legacy because I didn't want it to be mine. So let me share with you from my heart. Let me share something from my heart. I want to remind you that the conversations that we are having, it does not have to stop when the episode is over. I offer private coaching for women who are ready to step into their next life chapter with clarity, courage, confidence, and bliss. So if you're feeling stuck, and or you know there's more for you, but you just don't see a path forward, you don't see a path forward yet, let's work together and allow me to help create it for you. Click the link in the description if you're watching via YouTube, or if you're listening on your listening device. Check out the show notes and schedule your session today, because your next chapter isn't waiting and neither should you. Now, let's get back to the episode. I spent over 35 years behind my styling chair, a chair as a hairstylist, and I helped women to look different. I helped them to look beautiful from the outside. You know, I helped them to look different. I heard their fears. And besides the change I created and how they look. I heard their fears. I heard their desires. I heard they wish, the statements I wish I had. I wish I had more time. I wish I had more courage. I just wish I could get clear. All the wish I had stories, or the wish I could have stories. And when I felt the pull to step into my next chapter, it was easy for me. I knew that my next step was to move from a transformation hairstylist, hair master, into a transformation life coach, to help bring women, to transform them from being confused to clarity, to transform women from being fearful to courage, from self-doubt to self-confidence, and from drudgery and disappointment to joy and bliss. And it would have been easier for me to stay comfortable, no doubt, because I had a good business, good salon business, good practice. Yes, thriving. But I did not want to remain comfortable. I did not want to let this gift, the ability to help women to see themselves bigger than they were seeing themselves. I didn't want to let that die in me. And so I stepped out, and I'm still stepping out, and it still takes courage. Sometimes I have to remind myself that what I did years ago as a stylist, up until this past February of last year, is not the only thing that defines me. And I've got to start walking in my existing calling, my new identity as a transformation life coach, a transformation guide, someone who transforms women, not just from the outside, but from the inside out. That's when my why shifted. And just that shift gives me the courage to keep going, even when it seems like change is not happening, even when it seems like it's not as impactful as I would like it to be. When it stopped being about me and it came about the women, who needed to see me reinvent so that they could reinvent. And that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. And clarity keeps coming, because clarity doesn't expire. You make one move. I promise you, if you make one move, if you take one step, you get clear on your next step. A lot of times you can't wait till you have the full picture, because the clarity comes as you go. I can't say that enough. The clarity comes as you go, and your purpose becomes more evident to you. It's not going to expire, but it becomes more. That's just like a baby trying to walk. Each step they get stronger, they get more confident, they want to explore more. If it begins to feel normal for them, and crawling just doesn't work anymore. Staying in that little spot, that little circle, it just doesn't work anymore. And then that child breaks free and starts to walk, and then run, then jump. And that's what it's all about, taking one step. And that one step leads to the next. And so that's what I want for you. Because, as I said earlier, it's not about just you benefiting. You have to ask yourself, who else benefits from me becoming more? Who else benefits? Take a minute and think about that. Maybe it's not, sometimes we like to say it's about me.com. No, 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 no. It's not all about you. It's not all about me. But who else benefits? Think about it. Who else benefits when you say yes? Who benefits when I heal? Who benefits when you heal? Ask your question. Ask yourself this question. Who benefits when I heal? You know, who benefits when I grow? Who benefits when I stop shrinking? Ask yourself that. Who benefits when I finally believe in myself? Because here's the part we don't talk about enough. When you don't pursue, listen to me now, when you don't pursue your transformation, someone else pays the price, including you. Someone else pays the price when it doesn't have to be that way. You know, your family gets a version of you that's tired, that's resentful instead of fulfilled. Other people get the brink. Other people get the short end of the stick too. Not just you. Not just you. Your gifts stay hidden. Your genius doesn't come out, man. Come on. And your story goes untold. Can you live with that? Now, if you can live with that, that's a horse of a different color. If you can live with that, that's something different. But if you do not want a life of regret, I want to encourage you to spend the rest of this year, 2025, trying to figure out what can I do to not be so hesitant. You know, you want it for you. You want it for you too. You're responsible for it flowing through you and out into the world and touching those who will be touched by it. And so grab something. I want to share just a couple of pointers on how to anchor your why. How to anchor your why. And this is really simple. Here's a simple way to ground and anchor your why. Are you ready? Finish this sentence out loud if you can. Finish it with me. The first sentence is this: I am committed to my transformation because. Simple enough. I am committed to my transformation because. And don't stop at the first answer. Keep going. Keep going until your answer includes someone beyond you. Okay? Keep going. Keep going until your answer includes someone beyond you. And you'll feel it when you hit the truth. It will feel kind of heavier. It'll feel a little that it came from somewhere deep within you. You know, that's the why that holds you steady when your motivation fades, because motivation will. But if you've got a solid, heartfelt, spiritually grounded, deep why, you're going to keep going, even when the human side of you gets tired and want to quit and want to throw in the towel, because it's normal. It's normal. That is what builds your character. That is what builds your I can do this attitude. Okay? And my thing is always this: there's never an accident. If you're listening to this, it's no accident. It is meant for you. It's meant for you. It's called clarity knocking at your door. It's called a second chance knocking at your door. And I want you to know this, that you don't have to figure out this next chapter out alone. You're not ever alone. You're not ever alone. Whenever you make the decision to get clear, the universe goes to work. Spirit goes to work. Ancestors go to work to bring you everything that you need, so everything will always work out for you. And if you want more, if you want to work more, if you want to be in a community, that I'm going to leave some information in the description that could get you started, at least moving in the right direction, at least being in the right community, listening to the right words, being fed the right words. That's what I want for you. I'll leave all the details below. And before you go, let me leave you with this. I want to leave you with this. Your why is bigger than you. It's bigger than your fears. Your calling is louder than your doubt. And you're going to have those doubts. And your transformation, yours, not Susan, not your transformation is needed. And when you focus on your transformation, you automatically focus on others, and others automatically benefit. That's just the way that it goes. So saying all that, having said all that, I'll see you on the next episode of Rollerset to Mindset. I'll talk with you soon, okay? Bye. Mwah.